You are listening to the Retina UK Talking Tech Peer Support Group meeting recorded Thursday the 16th of March 2023.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our pilot Talking Tech group from Retina UK. This is a brand new online group that we are trialling to see what frustrations and what questions, answers, tips and hints and tricks that our community across the UK can share with each other. My name is Mark Baxter and I'm the Information and Support Coordinator for Retina UK. My role is to bring our community together through our local peer support group network, whether that's a local group in your area, and we do have locations across the UK, including Scotland, Ireland and Wales, and many across the UK, England, including the Isle of Wight. And we are trialling a series of focused-based groups on the common interest, and we thought, due to the response from local groups last year, a tech group that would be ideal place to start. So we're just going to kick off the group meeting this evening with the first question that we received by email, and it actually comes on to one query that we just had is screen readers. And does anybody use JAWS, and how do they get on with that screen reader, or do you have any preferred other recommendations? So you can put your hand up if you are a JAWS screen reader user, and how do you get on with it?
Right, Ken and Harry have got their hands up.
Right, so we're going to go with Ken first. Hi Ken, thanks very much.
Good evening all. It's Ken Reid here. I'm just outside Edinburgh, for those who are following such things. I've been a JAWS user for 24 years. I started on version 3. We're now version 2023, which is about 20 versions on from where I started. I have found it invaluable. Like all access technology, it takes a bit of getting used to. And clearly, it's not a cheap option. Back in 1999 when I started, it was basically the only credible option. There are others available now, but it's just, as I said earlier, it's my interaction with the external world. I can't see the screen at all. I've got no useful vision left, so a screen reader is absolutely vital, and it works really well, and I use it every day. I use it for writing emails, I use it for browsing the internet, I use it for doing online shopping and banking, I use it for enabling Zoom meetings. It's just, I use it every day, all the time, and would not have anything bad said about it.
Lovely.
No, that's not true. I wouldn't say I wouldn't have anything bad said about it. There are things can always be better with all of this stuff, but it's really helpful.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much. And I think Harry was next with his hand up. Hi, Harry. Thanks very much.
Good evening. Like several others, I'm a newbie to the group. I would like to underline just what Ken said. I would agree. I've been a long-term JAWS user. It does take a bit of getting used to, but boy, once you've mastered it, it changes your life. I mean, like Ken, I couldn't do without it. I have some remaining sight, but it is, like many with RP, it's diminishing and diminishing fast. It's invaluable. It's as simple as that. In the same way that I use VoiceOver on an iPhone, JAWS is the only way that I could contemplate doing a spreadsheet, even or a Word document or anything like that. It does take a bit of getting used to, and I'm just trying to think if there are any, there are no quick tips and hints, but there's a lot of tutorial advice even within JAWS, user guides and things like that. So I would strongly, it is expensive. I mean, the other ones I think Ken alluded to are things like NVDA, which is free, and Narrator, which is now built into Windows 10 and beyond. is supposed to be very good, I'm told as well. And I have lots of colleagues, or ex-colleagues, having now retired, but people who've worked for many years in places like the RNIB who are saying, yeah, we're going to be looking at using that more and more as a mainstream product.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Harry. That's much appreciated. We've got Carl now with his hand up. Hi, Carl.
Yeah, hi guys. Yeah, just sort of commenting from my experience. I'm an RPer as well. I'm kind of late, as in losing my sight sort of later on. I had useful vision up till probably about 4 or 5 years ago. So I'm fairly new to the whole screen reader arena. Thankfully, I'm still in work with it. So I would definitely sort of echo what the other two gentlemen have sort of said there with JAWS. JAWS is brilliant. It's very comprehensive. You can make it as technical as you like. There's lots of preferences you can go into. Certainly, if you are fortuitous and you are in a work setting, you've got like things like access to work, which is obviously help towards funding, then JAWS definitely is the kind of main one for business, sort of large enterprise particularly. A lot of it, like our organisation, they won't, you know, they're obviously very secure, so they have to have it on the estate. So JAWS is kind of the main one you'll use in that sort of setting. You can get a home version as well, and something just to note, you can normally once a year, they normally do it at sort of Sight Village time of year, which is sort of in the summer. Sight and Sound, who are like the UK sort of distributor for JAWS and Vispero products, they normally do have some good offers. So if you're in a situation where you sort of think I would like to sort of try JAWS and have you can normally get some really good discounts. It's just worth bearing that in mind. Obviously, I've got no links to them at all, so I'm not trying to push it anywhere. I'm actually testing all of the different screen readers for sort of work anyway. So that's JAWS. Yeah, it is great. It is kind of really comprehensive. Lots you can do, but none of them are perfect. And I'm now playing with NVDA on my personal machine, which I love. I think NVDA is a really good product. It's a small footprint. You can run it on small machines. It's not resource hungry like JAWS can be. It's a really good little screen reader, very nippy. Also, sort of talking on narrator. Narrator certainly in Windows 10 and Windows 11. I've not played it with it in Windows 11, but certainly within the later builds of Windows 10, it is actually very viable. Certainly out of all the screen readers I've played with so far, other than VoiceOver on a Mac, because that's really good in system settings, but certainly on the Windows side of it, Narrator is king for anything to do with the OS. So if you're going into settings, you want to adjust anything within Windows itself, Narrator is definitely king. It's really, really good. It's thorough. It doesn't lose focus too much. It's really, really good to get around, and you can access all of the elements to go in. Some of the other screen readers, JAWS can be, and certainly NVDA seems a bit, they can be hit and miss when you're within the OS. But certainly on browsers, internet, they're all pretty good and nippy and get around. So don't want to hog the floor, so I'll give that for the moment, guys.
Thanks very much, Carl. Pamela did have a hand up, which she's put it down there. Did you still have a question, or would you like to feedback on screen readers?
Hi there. I'm from Glasgow. This is my first time on the meeting as well. I've got JAWS at work. I'm still working. I still do have my central vision. It doesn't work all the time with the packages that I do have at work with it. I actually work with an NHS. It struggles sometimes with my packages that we've got, but listening to you guys, it's obviously something that I need to play about with, because I hear all the things that you're saying that it is useful. So it's maybe just for me to have a good play about with it. But it is a useful tool. It's just if I work in an office with other folk as well, so it can get quite annoying for them as well with the voice going on in the background. But it's good listening to everybody else's feedback from it.
Oh, lovely, thank you. We had someone just called iPad got their hand up next.
Yeah. Evening, Mark, it's Paul.
Hiya.
We were talking earlier on. We were talking about this discussion, weren't we? Over the last couple of weeks, actually, weren't we?
Yeah, screen readers.
Screen readers and all the rest of it, and seeing AI. Just for your information to the rest of the group, me and Mark are actually befrienders through another organisation that he works for. And we have a rant and a rave. And we're talking about just a show of interest. We're going on about Jaws, but how many people have got like dictation on the phones and know how to go about it, such as like, for example, the iPhone? Because I'm partially sighted, I've got a which is linked to my brain injury through a subdural hematoma, and I've got a right-sided hemianopia, which basically means I can't see in both parts of my eyes. And I got I was speaking to someone in Henshaws, and they told me about seeing AI, SEEING space AI. And that's a really, really useful app if people have used it before or wanting to know what basically it does. In a nutshell, it reads stuff out to you. So, for example, you're going out shopping, you want to get the gravy, but you're down the coffee aisle. Tells you, seeing AI actually tells you what it is using your camera. So yeah, I don't use JAWS, but there's accessibility controls within the iPads and also the iPhones, which gives you a little bit of a snap, thing with a finger, and you press it where you want to. You press it, then say for example, you want to read something online, you can't make it bigger. You press it and you press play, and it actually reads out to you on the screen via no dictation of what you're actually seeing or what you're supposed to see on the screen.
Funny enough, Paul, we will come on to that, because one of the next questions that we've got, and this actually follows on quite nicely, is a question regarding apps. But Pauline has got her hand up physically with a question. Is this relating to Jaws, Pauline? Or is it a new question?
Yeah. You're talking to me, are you?
Yeah, Pauline. Hi, Pauline.
My lips gone. my hearing aid's gone. Oh dear. I was going to say, I can't hear anything at all. Okay, sorry, I'll have to swap over. My apologies. I'm Pauline, and I have Usher syndrome, which is retinitis pigmentosa with the hearing loss. And I actually was fully diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa in the early 70s. And now my sight is getting to such a point that I am struggling more now. And at the moment, I'm using this laptop, which is a Lenovo one. And I also have a tablet, Asus, and I also have a Kindle Fire. And the Kindle Fire I use mostly for reading books. I can't read anymore. So I, order books, obviously, from Amazon. I have to say, I have had some problems with some communication with Amazon that kept saying that I needed to pay for this, pay for that. I'd gone to my bank and all sorts. And, I still can't get it sorted. Now, I mentioned that I have hearing problems. I wonder, Mark, if maybe another time we could have captioning, subtitles attached to what you have at the bottom of the screen. Do you know that? Because I'm a member of Health Watch. I live in Cambridgeshire and near Huntingdon, and I'm a member of Health Watch, which is Cambridgeshire and Peterborough, and we Zoom there, and it's similar to what you're doing now, but I do have captioning because I can't hear everything that people are saying. But with the recording, are you able to have that in print that maybe I can read it, you know, when you send emails or whatever?
So the recordings, we can try and put the caption on now if we can find it. But in regards to the recording, all we do is to protect facial identities, we just upload the audio only. So it wouldn't include, unfortunately, the on-screen captioning, you know, the word captioning. But we can certainly try to turn it on now. I know we're actually got recording in progress. So whether it will allow us to do it now, but it's certainly something that we can look to do moving forward for other meetings. You know, should the Talking Peer Support Group carry on throughout the rest of this year, it's definitely something we can look into, and we want to make our meetings at Retina UK, whether it's a webinar or whether it's an online peer group, or even our conference in June, which will be held online. We want to make them as accessible, friendly for everybody, regardless of the device you're using them on. So thank you very much for that feedback, Pauline. We'll try and get the caption on now.
Can I also mention that I'm a member of Hunt Blind Society here, and we do have tech group meetings once a month as well. And the manager there has been supporting me tremendously with the problems I've been having with these computers.
That's excellent. A lot of local sight loss organisations. It's worth checking your local council, your local sight loss organisations to see whether they do run individual in-person tech events where you can take your equipment and you can actually get some hands-on advice for setting up phones, new equipment. And I do know some services could even come to your premises, help you set up. So it's worth just checking out what is available in your local area, you know, through your local council sensory team, or if you do have a staff organisation in your area as well, they might be able to assist.
We've got another 7 people with their hands
right,
up.
Sorry, we've got 7 people. So, sorry, moving on. Thanks very much for your feedback, Pauline. We'll take that on board, and you know, we'll try and get the captioning working for obviously while we're live of an evening, but unfortunately it won't come out on the recording.
Yeah.
Thank you. So
Ken again next.
Oh, we've got Ken again next. Hi, Ken.
Hi there. Sorry, I just wanted to have a feedback on some of the comments. NVDA, somebody said, is free, and absolutely it is, and it's been around a long time. It disappeared for a while because it's grant dependent for its funding. It doesn't charge the user, which is nice of them, but if they don't get any grant funding, they don't do any updating, and it does actually disappear sometimes. So be aware. Narrator, it's great to hear that it's now actually functioning better. As I said, I've been around a long time, and those when I first started looking at screen readers, we called it narrator, now they're narrator, because it just didn't work. Great to hear that they seem to have improved it now, so that's a positive thing. The other thing for folks, the chap who was asking about, talking about seeing eye, JAWS is a Windows application only, and he was talking about applications in his iPhone. Clearly JAWS won't operate in that environment, just to be aware of that. It's not going to operate in the Apple environment or the Android on the mobile phones. It's just for Windows computers.
Oh, thanks very much, Ken. We've got Gordon with his hand up. Hi, Gordon.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Thanks very much for joining us.
That's okay. I think I actually joined twice because I was getting a very strange audio feed. You're very garbled, so I thought I'll leave and then I can still hear you. Anyway, just for those JAWS users, and I apologise if I'm telling people something that they already know, but there's so much in JAWS that it's, I mean, nobody can know everything, so it might be something that people aren't aware of. I think Ken mentioned earlier on about if you have the chat going at the same time as the feed, it can override it and make it very confusing, and I quite agree. But there is a feature which does help slightly with this. It's the audio splitting with JAWS, which I've actually got on just now. So I'm getting the audio feed through one ear and my JAWS feedback in the other ear. and that actually does help separate the sounds out, so that you're not getting both sounds coming at you from both sides all the time. And if anyone's interested in that, one of the other jaws used and they don't know about it, the keystroke, which I had to look up before I joined this meeting, is insert, or your caps lock, then space, V for Victor, B for Bravo, and then you just hit the left or right arrow and it will move JAWS to one side and leave the audio feed coming through the other side. So it's really a very handy little tool for events like this, when you've got an audio chat coming through and you've also got your screen reader talking to you.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant, a bit of advice.
Worth a try. I've just tried it at the last RP meeting and it worked brilliantly, and I've got it on again now.
If anybody has got any tips like that, and they can forward me on to them, we will put out a follow-up email, and anything like that may be able to assist people that are using JAWS, then that will be a credit to them. So any tips and hints or shortcut keys, that would be fantastic. So thanks very much for that tip, Gordon. That's much appreciated.
Okay, no worries.
Hello, Perm. How are you? She muted. Oh, she's still there. Hi, Perm. Go back. Okay.
Hi, sorry about that. I couldn't get rid of the dialogue box. Sorry. Good evening.
Hiya.
How you doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. I have a very quick question, actually. It's about apps, and I've been itching to ask this. I am struggling with the Tesco app, and when you get so far to the payment, and when you confirm the order, after putting your security code in, it does not work. I have complained to Tesco's, and they haven't done anything about it. So does anyone else have the same problem? And the same thing for Amazon app. When you go to the picker item from pick for more than one thing, it kicks you out. So is anyone having the same issues? I've had this issue since the new iOS update to whatever we're on, 16 point something. So question to the floor, really.
Does anyone do online shopping through their telephone, through their smartphones?
Well, I do. I'm Johnny Gardner from Blackpool. Good evening, everyone.
Hiya.
Hi.
Hiya. Now, the lady just mentioned about Tesco. In fact, I've used them about half an hour ago, and I must admit, I haven't had that problem. So I would advise her to actually get in touch with the customer service, because I've always found them really good. And I've only used them recently, and I've put the 3 digits in, and I must admit that it's always worked for me. So it may be an issue regarding your recent update. Did you say you've had?
Yeah, the thing is, I have told them a month ago. This has been ongoing for a month, and I've got the latest phone as well, so it's not as if it's a phone issue. I've done it on the iPad. Right. I've done it on, so I'm not sure what's going on.
Try shopping at Tesco, Asda.
Yeah.
Well, I do now.
Hi, it's Scott with a slightly Canadian accent, living in Battersea. Hi, Harry, by the way.
Hi.
The new iOS is messed up a lot of features, and you might want to call the Apple. You're an iPhone user, right?
Yeah, will do.
Using VoiceOver. I cannot hit my codes. It won't. What I have to do when my wife's around is turn my VoiceOver off, and
yes.
she can click on it. But you have to hover, and it's I have no sight, so a lot of times it's a hit and a miss, turning it off and on. So if you wouldn't mind, like I've done, call the Apple helpline, the special line.
Yeah, we'll do.
Make the complaint there, because we're all going through with the new iOS update. It's messed a lot of us up with codes, and so I don't think it's Amazon or Tesco. I've tried to send money on one of the oh God, I'm forgetting the name now, but it's a money server, and I can't enter my code into it either.
Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. So I will do that, and I will let you know how I get on. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Perm. And we've got someone, Zoom user, with their hand up next. Hello, good evening.
Hi. Was it me that you said? I wasn't quite sure.
We've got someone,
No,
called, someone called Zoom user.
Oh, there they are.
Oh.
Hello.
Hiya, are you Zoom user? Hiya.
Oh, is it not my name on there? Sorry, it's Barry Lane. I work at Focus Birmingham. Sorry. Hi,
no worries.
I was just wanted to pick up on the apps. I don't know if you wanted to talk about that now or not, because the other gentleman was talking about seeing AI.
Yeah, have we?
Yeah, there was a question about that. Anyway, so.
There was a mention about seeing AI, and I just wanted to point out the fact that seeing AI is only available on iOS. So for those who, and Apple. So for those who want, who've got Android phones, there's Google Lookout and there's InVision. So two very similar apps that are available if you're on Android. So try those. InVision is available on both iOS, on Apple, and sorry, someone's talking in the background.
Sorry, we got it. No
That's
worries.
okay.
Thanks, you continue. Thanks very much. Yeah, no, you can continue. Yeah,
that's great. Yeah. So just to let people know that if you're on Android, then InVision is available on both Apple and Android. But Google Lookout is another one that's available on Android, and they're both very similar. Where you've got the instant text, document read, product identification, so barcode reader. They're very similar, and obviously there's a new feature on the Seeing AI one, the indoor navigation, which is in beta, isn't it, at the moment? So that's all good.
Okay. That was actually a question. Thanks, Barry. The question was, what apps are available on Android? And you mentioned two fantastic ones. They didn't actually mention in the email what they wanted the apps for, but for screen reading apps, I use Android, and Google Lookout has been instrumentational for me, certainly myself. There is others called SuperSense, another Android one, and also another one called Speak, which does very, very similar features. But a good thing about Speak is you can actually open up PDF documents in that, and it will actually read out PDF documents like a document reader does, as well as guide you around the room and read your post, etc. So there are lots of useful apps for screen reading for both Apple and also Android. And in the follow-up email, I will be putting some recommendations. And if anybody else has got any other recommendations, then please let me know and we can add them into the follow-up email as well. So thanks very much for the advice.
And then obviously there's Be My Eyes, isn't there? So which is another very good app.
One. Yeah.
And they've just announced, haven't they, that the season announcement, I think it was this week, that they've teamed up with ChatGPT, Be My Eyes.
Okay, cool. Excellent.
So that's going to be features that are coming up soon, where you can get to describe things that are in and around you using ChatGPT. So that was a new thing this week.
No, thanks. I'm going to I'll look that up as well, because I think that will be a good feature to share with everybody as well. So thanks very much.
No problem.
John Darker.
John. Hi, John Darker. Hi.
Oh, hi. All right. Thank you. I'm also a newbie, so thank you for setting this up.
No worries.
So just responding to a couple of comments on what's been gone on before. I've used Seeing AI for about 3 or 4 years now, and I just find it absolutely invaluable now. I don't know what I would do without it, really. But I've got a question. So I've never really had much experience of JAWS. I have Dolphin Supernova. Is there anybody who's used both of those? And what's the best one? Would they recommend to switch to JAWS or not?
We want to open the floor out to that one, or?
Yeah. Hi, it's Barry again here. I used Supernova when I was transitioning between losing my sight, so I could use the magnification and speech. Yeah. So I transitioned from that to then JAWS. I just found JAWS, the speech a lot better, a lot smoother with just using screen reader personally. But that was like 15 years ago. So I'm sure Supernova have improved their synthesizers from now. So, but that was my personal experience. I just found JAWS a lot better with applications and moving around and the speech. So my wife was a JAWS user, so it was, and we were using it at home, so I was used to that at the time as well. So, but yeah.
Thanks very much.
Okay.
Ian's waving at us.
Oh, Ian's waving at us. I'm not sure if that's a follow-on from your question or if this is a new question.
Hi, Ian here. This is kind of a follow-on there because I'm kind of in a position where I'm considering something like JAWS, and I've still got some vision, so I use the Windows magnifier and to zoom in on things, and I'm also increasingly using sort of readers that are built into, so like you can get browser plugins that will read a bit of a web page, or you can get Microsoft Word will read you out the Word document that you're working on, in very, very good voice. But yeah, I'm sort of thinking more and more about that sort of transition between having, getting more reading, but also the things to make things more visible and more readable. I think I understand that JAWS has a sort of companion thing that makes more high contrast screens and things like that. Does anyone have any and whether that's a way, like, I know it's interested to actually Dolphin, I might have to try that if it's sort of got a bit of both of the visual and the speech. So I don't know whether anyone knows good options for a sort of combination or sort of transition to those.
I think, sorry, Barry again. Sorry, I think Zoom Text, I think, is the one that works with JAWS.
Right.
Mark, you might know that.
Yeah, you can get, sorry, it's Gordon here, sorry to interrupt. You
Hi,
can
Gordon.
get a thing called Fusion, which gives you both JAWS and Zoom Text.
Right, yeah, I think I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, I used to use Zoom Text, and it was very, very good if you have some vision. Very, very flexible, and there's all sorts of wonderful things. But since I've got no sight now, I ditched it, and I'm just using JAWS now.
I guess it sounded like, I don't know how integrated those two are really in the suite. Yeah, whether it might, whether it's a good, I think as my sight gets worse, I might be using the magnification less and the speaking more. So
no, that's brilliant. Thanks very much. We're getting quite a few people with hands up now. This could follow on. So we've got, is it Wayne Thompson? Thanks very much for joining us, Wayne.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. I just wanted to comment on the sort of the use of screen readers and things like that. And I think that I work in IT, and accessibility is always an afterthought. So when we get news, I work for a government organisation, and we have lots of Capgemini and Capita and NEC, Unicid, big corporations that we take systems from. And then we spend an extraordinary amount of time trying to make it work with our screen readers at Dolphin and JAWS, primarily the two. But I just say that the lady who said that works for the NHS, I think we as an organisation now are pushing back to the suppliers and going, we can't accept this because it doesn't work with our screen reading software. And we're changing things to, as part of the deliverables, the tender processes, that specifying that it needs to work with JAWS, and it needs to work with Dolphin and other accessibility software. And I think that's a big thing that's got to change, certainly for larger companies, is to push back to the suppliers and go, you know what, it doesn't work with accessibility software, and you need to go away and spend some of your money and make it work and deliver us something that is tangible and is we can just plug and play and carry on as we were before. rather than us spending lots and lots of time paying people to configure JAWS scripts and things like that. There needs to be some pushback from companies to say not acceptable. It's not an afterthought. It's a prerequisite for delivery.
That's a very, very, very good point. There is a lot of third-party software that is not compatible. Even in my own experience, there's third-party software that's not even compatible with Windows high contrast mode, which is just so frustrating. You know, it's web-based, developed in software that works via the internet. You know, you can manipulate colors, but if it's a third-party software, you can't even integrate it into Windows and use high contrast features. And again, you know, high contrast mode it's got to be something that is 100% accessible in any third-party software. These features have to be thought of and not just brushed under the carpet. You know, and these developers allow other manufacturers of accessibility software to pick up their pieces. I think it's a very, very valid point that you've made. So thanks very much.
Just to say quickly as well that the Office 365 tools, the screen reader, the narrator, the screen reader, the dictate function, and the immersive reader for those with low vision are all really, really good. So if you've got that available to you, I'd highly recommend it. We're just rolling out Microsoft 365 at work at the moment, and that's a big step forward for an out-of-the-box free accessibility toolset. So definitely look into those before you have to go down the lines of very expensive screen readers.
No, that's brilliant. Thanks very much for the tips. And if it's okay to share them with us in the follow-up, then I can actually share them out to everybody as well. So that's much appreciated. Thank you.
Tony Ward.
Tony, hi Tony. Thanks very much for joining us. You got your hand up. I think he's unmuting.
Tony Ward.
Tony Ward. Hi, Tony. We'll come back to Tony.
Right, next lady, Rama.
Hi, Rama. You've got your hand up. Want to share something with the group? He's just unmuting.
Okay. Basically, what do you think of this Orcam? You know, the pens type reader.
That's a very good question. Does anybody use the Orcam, whether it's the pendant or the one that connects to glasses, or the pen?
Yeah, Gordon here. I've got one of the original Orcam My Eyes, the one that clips onto your glasses. I have to say, very, very good at reading text. Very, very good at reading text. I could actually pick up a book, a paperback book, and read it, and you get about 98% of it. Makes sense. It's very good. Doesn't cope quite so well with glossy paper, if there's reflections and things, but very expensive. I tend to use my phone for quick things. But having said that, it was quite handy if you're in the kitchen and you pick up a tin or something. What's this? You just tap the Orcam and it reads it to you straight away. It was fine until my grandson decided he liked the lanyard and he wanted to tug the thing off my glasses all the time. So I've not been wearing it so much recently. I think very good. I also think perhaps a bit overpriced. I've heard demonstrations of the handheld one, and it does seem very good, but I've never used it. I think Orcam's customer service is excellent. The product is kind of unique. Whether it's worth the money, it's really down to individual preference, to be honest.
And is it for the, you put it over the glasses as well as a pen?
You get a magnet. You put a magnetic strip around the one leg of your glasses, and the Orcam clips onto that magnet so that it's beside your glasses, and you just tap the Orcam if you want to take a photograph.
The pen clips onto your glasses?
No, the pen is a new thing.
Oh, I see.
The Orcam have several different products, I don't have the pen. I've got one of the original ones that clips onto glass. I think the pen is quite a bit cheaper, actually. It's a handheld one.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much. Tony's unmuted. Hi, Tony. Thanks very much for joining us.
Ken's next again.
Oh, hi, Ken.
Hi there. Thanks very much for letting me back in yet again. Hope folk don't get too fed up with my voice.
Okay, no worries.
I've been sitting waiting since the conversation about Tesco, actually. So I was going to feedback. I used to use the Tesco app on iOS, and I gave up on it. Not because of the checkout faults, but I just found it was so unstable when placing goods in the basket. It kept reversing to the top of the list, and there's, I basically work off favourites, and I found I just couldn't do it. It would always be jumping all over my favourites list, and I've been missing things or double shopping things and all sorts. I now kind of do a bit of a hybrid technique. So most of my shopping I do on the website, which I find is much more stable. But I do find the app is very good for booking a slot in the first instance. And actually, last time I did check out. I did finalise. So I just put a couple of items in the basket, then check out, and then store the basket, store the slots, and then come back into it later and do my full shop through the website. So kind of hybridising my access needs into Tesco have helped me to do it fairly independently. But I'm interested in that challenge. Maybe it's iOS, but it may also be Tesco. I think there's bits of both going on there.
Thanks very much for that. Thanks for the feedback. It's much appreciated, Ken. We've got Scott that's got his hand up. Hi, Scott. Welcome.
I was just going to comment on the narrator. I don't find much joy with it at all. Particularly working with Google Chrome. I think it was set up more for like Microsoft Edge. I find it quite clunky working with. I prefer Google Chrome myself because I've got like a Google Pixel phone. And that's the other thing I was going to say as well. The Google Pixel phone is really good, I've got a 6A one, and it's really good with the TalkBack, accessibility, and it's really very, very quick, very, you can tell it's been well integrated because it's obviously a Google phone. And I would obviously, again, I'm not getting paid by Google or anything.
No, I agree. I love Google products.
The profits, I'm not greedy. But I would definitely recommend the Google Pixel phone.
We've got, thanks very much. I like Google products as well. So I'm not endorsing them, but I do like Google. Mike Young. Hi, Mike. Welcome to the group. Thanks for joining us.
Evening. Hi, all. I just wanted to contribute a little thing. I know a lot of people have been talking about testing out or wanting to move to JAWS. I just wanted to point out that there is a free version of it. It's a fully functioning version that you can download from the internet. The only limitation is that it will stop working after 40 minutes. But worth exploring if anyone's considering a move from a pre-existing screen reading software.
Thank you very much. And we'll put that link in. We'll put that link into the follow-up email just in case someone wants to give a quick demo of JAWS and have a go at something that they want to move to from an existing screen reader. So put that into our follow-up email as well. So thank you very much.
Do you want to try Tony again?
Yeah. Hi, Tony. Are you with us?
Who, me?
No, Tony.
Tony. No, we've got so we'll move on to
got someone on the phone that ends in 320 with their hand up.
We've got someone on the phone. 320 is the end of the telephone number. Their hand up. Who's dialed in from the telephone?
Yes, it's me. I do apologise if it was mentioned earlier. I had difficulty actually getting on this evening. Navigation apps. I'm interested in hearing what people are you using. I use Blind Square, and I do believe that one of them are actually is being closed down this year. Am I correct in that? And can some people give me an idea of what they actually use?
That's a very good question. Does anybody use navigation apps when out and about?
Yes.
Oh, don't tell me I'm the only one.
No. Sorry, it's Gordon here again. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm hogging the show here because I've actually got some feedback on some other questions as well, which I may as well do now. Navigation. Soundscape is the one you're thinking of, which is
the one. Yeah,
it's a
superb
app.
That's the one that's closing down, isn't it?
It's closing down, and I use Blind Square. it's the next best.
Use it? Yes.
Yeah, it's the next best. Definitely.
How do you find it, Gordon?
It's not as good as Soundscape, but it's the next best.
I agree. Yeah.
The one that I use if I'm out in a car is Lazarillo. If you're passing in a car, because it gives you street names as you're passing them, and it's good at that. But I think Blind Square is the best apart from Soundscape.
What's that one you just said in the car? How are you spelling that?
Lazarillo. Lazarillo.
That's easy to remember, isn't it?
I believe it's Mexican based. I'm not sure, or South America.
Oh,
somewhere.
okay.
Yeah,
so it's all in Spanish.
It's good, but Blind Square is the best for walking about, I think. And so hopefully I'll shut up after this. But some feedback on the Tesco app and so on. This might be worth a try. I've had this problem with some apps. If you can't get text into an input field, when you double tap on the input field, nothing works. If you double tap and hold, if you hold it long enough, you might hear a beep, and then you might be able to input your information into it. It doesn't always work, depends on the app. But there are some apps where double tapping simply isn't enough. So you have to double tap and hold the input field. And it, as I say, it sometimes works. I've had that problem with a couple of apps in the past. And the final thing, and then I'll shut up, I promise, the Chat GPT with Be My Eyes. Now, Be My Eyes is a brilliant app anyway. Everybody should have it. But this thing is only in beta mode at the moment. It's called the Virtual Assistant, but they've released some videos of it, and it looks fantastic, because the idea is that apparently you take a picture of something and then ask the virtual assistant to describe the picture and get more detail. If you want more detail on this and that and the next thing, and it will just chat away to you and tell you what you want to know. It sounds terrific. I think it could be a game changer, really. It could blow the likes of seeing AI and Envision away. It sounds that good. Now, of course, these are promotional videos, so maybe it won't be that good in practice, but fingers crossed, because it sounds terrific.
Anyway. Gordon?
Yeah.
Are you Gordon from Triple Tap?
No.
Is that you? No?
No.
Okay.
No.
You sound very technical. You sound like you know quite a lot.
Honestly, I'm a user of tech, but I'm not very technical. No.
Right.
No, I struggled signing into this meeting, and I was looking a link. Sorry, I will Gordon, my hand. I will shut up now. Thank you very much. Sorry to keep interrupting.
No worries, Gordon. No, it's fantastic feedback. Thank you very much for your input. We've got. Oh, sorry.
Can I just call you? It's Scott again. Soundscape I'm using, and I'm very disappointed that it's leaving. But I will tell you that they've opened up the technology, and they're hoping you use Blind Square. They're hoping Blind Square or Lazarillo will pick it up and sort of integrate it into their system. So that's what Apple's hope is.
Yeah, sorry, Gordon, again. Unfortunately, the guy who developed Blind Square has said it's not that easy, and he's at the moment not interested. So I think it's just going to die, which is a shame.
Okay.
Yeah. Can I throw in another navigation option?
Sorry.
Sorry. I was just going to say, I think there's another navigation app that I've just started using that's on iOS and Android as well. I'm an Android person, and I hadn't really considered it, but I don't know whether people know about the We Walk cane. That's like a sort of smart white cane that you can sort of press, but there's a companion app that you don't have to have the cane for, and I think it works very much like Blind Square with sort of navigation without depending on a map. It's more, very good voice instructions. So I've been using that about a few weeks now, and it seems like a good option, but I haven't really seen it promoted anywhere else. We Walk. So have a look.
Thanks very much.
You do have to pay for it, unfortunately. Yes.
We've got Paul with his hand up now. So hi, Paul. Welcome.
Hi, Mark. You okay?
You're right.
Yeah, just a observation, really. We're all partially sighted or blind in one sense or another, and I was doing a bit of Googling and everything else like that. But my question is, why do companies feel that they have to charge £825 for a screen reader software or £900 where you get a USB included, and that's with Dolphin? Same with Jaws. Now, throughout this meeting, I've downloaded the NVDA software, which at the end of this meeting and everything else, I am going to try out and see if I like it. But yeah, open to the floor, really. Why do these technological companies have to charge an earth for software to help us as a collective see what's on a computer screen when Microsoft is a multi-million-pound company and they could quite easily incorporate it into their operating system? Startup, for example. I'm sure Apple do it as well. So why do Apple products, if you wanted or an iMac, you're looking at £2,000. What are you getting?
Sorry to interrupt you.
£2,000.
Sorry to interrupt you, but when Microsoft their narrator is built into Windows 10 and 11. So this Windows screen reader is already built into your computer, so you can just switch it on whenever you wish. I can't remember what the keystroke is, but yeah, you can just switch it on if you've got a Windows 10 or 11.
It's Control Shift and U.
There you go. I knew someone would know.
Yeah,
I thought it was Control Windows Enter.
Well, it's just more
in a way, I think, if I might butt in there, I kind of answered that question earlier, that NVDA is grant supported. If they don't get grants, they don't do any development. And with the pace of change, it can fall behind. And indeed, it disappeared completely for a period of time in the years that I've been involved in screen readers. So yeah, it's there and it's free, but you take a risk when you go down that route. I am dependent on my screen reader, and I started using JAWS in a commercial environment. I'm now retired, but I still use it every day, and I wouldn't want to take the risk of it disappearing. Yes, as others have said, narrator is built in, and you can try that and have a go at it. But these are commercial operations, and they're working sadly with a relatively small market. Microsoft ships millions of products every year, but whatever the company nowadays is called that makes JAWS, because I've forgotten it, I still think
Vispero.
Thank you very much. They're dealing with a very small market. We aren't a huge audience, and the development of that product costs a lot of money. They have a right to make money. They're a business, and we shouldn't condemn them for that. We have opportunities to get funding through certain routes, particularly if you're in employment. To pay for it, you don't have to pay for it yourself. So there are lots of different routes, and I don't think we should be knocking commercial operations for doing their business. And at the end of the day, it is because they're charging money and they're paying developers to do it, they're actually making the best product in the market.
Yeah. They're also paying for support as well.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work.
There are other grants that you can apply for, especially things like technology grants and for equipment and stuff like that. The Gardeners Trust of the Blind, you know, it is a means sort of grant application that you can actually apply for if you do need software or accessibility equipment for the home, especially if you're not working, you know, but you do want to brush up on your CV, you want to enhance your IT skills, you know, they can actually help you with applying for the grant, but it's quite a lengthy or in-depth process to get the application, but it's well worth looking into if people are troubled by the financial impact of accessibility tech. The York Cam is extremely expensive, you know, and any magnifiers, screen readers, you know, they all come with a 4-figure, you know, price tag. So it's worth looking into grant funding for this equipment, you know, if you can't get access to work, for example. So who we got next?
Someone on the phone ending 832.
Actually, before we would Rode, hi Rode, would you like to still ask your question? You put your hand up and then you put your hand down. I just wondered whether you still would like to ask your question before we move on.
Hi, I'm Rose. Like Pauline, I have Usher syndrome as well. And I rely on technology with high-end Bluetooth technology, hearing aids, so I can hear you guys via the iPad. The reason why I had my hand up, someone had asked about the apps with Ted's, I can't remember what your shopping center was called, Tesco or
Morrison's.
I'm not familiar with your shop in the UK.
Tesco,
so,
yeah.
I've heard of Morrison. In fact, that's my last name. But someone had talked about the apps with shopping and stuff with Amazon and when you do an update, because I am a big Apple user, when you do an update with an Apple, it's always a good idea to check your app's settings to see if they put it back to default, because that's often the case. So it screws up your app sometimes when you're using it. So whenever you go through an update, check your app settings and see if that changed, because often it goes right back to default and you have to sort of reorganize your app settings. That was my take on that.
Thank you very much, Rose. No, it's good. It's always good to check settings, especially things like privacy settings, etc., like that. And you know, any other, especially when you're using you know, the financial impact of the stuff, it's always worth going back to check apps as well. So that's a very good point. Thank you. What's that phone number?
Phone number ending in 832.
We've got a phone number ending in 832. You've got your hand up.
Hello. Yes.
Hiya, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, talking about the navigation apps, I don't use one at the moment, but I'm looking to start using one. And obviously I'm going to want headphones, but I hate having things in my ear. So I just wondered, had anybody experience of bone conducting headphones, and would they recommend them?
The only trouble is if you're using a navigation app, I wouldn't advise, well, certainly not have a headset and all that, because we do rely on our hearing a lot, don't we? So if we're walking along a street or anything like that, it can be a bit confusion, really. I suppose you could have just a lead to the one ear and listen to it that way. But I wouldn't recommend you having a headset when walking using a navigation app. That's my own personal.
I use bone conductive headphones all the time, and absolutely brilliant for walking around with navigation.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
So what is there a particular make you'd recommend bone conduction?
I've got a Trex Titanium.
Am I right in thinking they sit kind of behind the ears, not in the ears, so they don't actually interrupt your, or something like that, next to the ear? Is that right?
Yeah.
They sit in front on the cheekbone in front of your ear.
That's right.
So you can still hear things around you, yet you still hear the feedback from the phone.
Honestly, you can still hear perfectly clearly whether it's music or navigation apps. But then you can hear traffic and pedestrian crossings and people and everything else perfectly well because you've got nothing in your ears. It's bizarre how it works, but it works well.
Yeah. I'm not sure where you're living, but you might want to try your council. I'm actually trying some out right now. They're on loan to me from the council. So my rehabilitation person has loaned them to me to try out and test them out. I'm completely blind, so I'm giving them a whirl. So I usually just one AirPod in my ear when I do my navigation, so I can hear everything else as well. So
well, that's a good idea.
But
it's worth a try.
Yeah,
lovely.
But ask your council; they might have some to loan you.
Yes,
Brilliant.
thank you for
Thanks
that.
very much. Those headphones, we'll get the name. I think we've got the name of those headphones down. So, what were they again? Sorry, the Trek ones. Those
Trex Titanium TREKZ.
Yeah, Trex Titanium. We'll pop that in so people can actually have a little look. Maybe do look at them on YouTube to see whether it's something that would be beneficial for them. I've noticed the time. It's 8:10. I'm happy to. We've still got a few questions, a couple more questions. I'm happy to carry on until 8:30. If anybody would like to stick around until then, but please, we don't want to take up your entire evening. If we've got some good advice coming through and you still have questions, we want to try and get through everybody's questions if you have one. So, and I don't want anyone to come away from this evening not having to ask a question. They've got something that's burning regarding tech and technology. So we've got
just a quickie. Will you be doing this again? Is this going to be a regular thing?
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I will explain just before we leave. This is going to be a piloted local peer support group that will focus around. It's going to be an interest focus group around technology, and I need your feedback. Absolutely crucial. And in our follow-up email, there will be a feedback form. So any feedback that you can provide to me will be massively appreciated, because we grow these type of groups into other focus-based groups as well, not just technology, and also how often you would like one of these groups. We tend to try and run one once a month. But again, our local peer support group network is driven by volunteers. So our volunteer network at Retina UK, for those that are actually living with sight loss and they actually have sight loss as well, we cannot run our groups without our amazing volunteers. So that anybody that's liked what they've heard this evening and would like to support the UK with facilitating future meetings such as this one, then please get in touch with me or leave your feedback after I've sent out the follow-up, because I'll be very, very happy to hear from you if you want to join our amazing volunteer team.
Lovely.
Yeah, I'll move back on to Pauline because she's had her hand up. Hi, Pauline.
Yes, thank you. I mentioned earlier that I use a Kindle Fire for reading books and everything. I do have the contrast of black background and white text, and I find that very good. But the only thing is with the Kindle, I cannot access the internet or email or document, because they have the white background and small text and that, and I can't handle that. It seems that there's no way of being able to change it, you know what I mean, to alternate it to the black background. And my other question is that, when I Zoom with my family, my sister, she lived in Reading, but sometimes her screen flashes. It sort of fluctuates. It's off and on all the time. And I wondered if anybody, had experienced that. It did happen with me once when I was Zooming with the Health Watch at Peterborough in Cambridgeshire, but I don't know if anybody else had experienced that. And my other question also, I do spend a lot of time reading, you know, the books, because obviously, you know, it keeps me occupied. But is it that the length of time that you do that, or going on the computer for a long time, could that be affecting your vision as well, making it more serious?
We'll start that one. Does anybody do they still enjoy to read? As my vision personally, I'm on audio books. I don't, even on a high contrast mode, I think I would get extremely fatigued trying to read email, even reading long emails. It's all done via voiceover now. Does anybody still read the written word, or are we all using audiobooks and digital technology to help us read?
Hi Mark, it's Ken here again. I'm fully audio now. However, I've gone through the whole spectrum, and as I understand it, screen use won't exacerbate your retinitis pigmentosa. It will fatigue your eyes. You'll feel very tired. It'll hurt. It'll make you, it's probably not great for your eyes, and you will be straining them quite a lot in doing that process. But it won't it won't exacerbate your RP. As far as that's my understanding of it. I'm not an ophthalmologist, so I'm not giving you advice on that respect. But that's simply my understanding of the circumstance. But just be wary about overdoing your screen time, because it will tire your eyes extremely.
Pauline, I could ask that question for you if that's something that is a concern of yours. That you feel that reading too much may actually impact your RP. I can definitely ask that to see whether we actually do have any information that's been asked that before. In regards to, does anybody else use the Kindle Fire, or do we just use tablets, which have, in my opinion, much better accessibility, night mode,
which one would you recommend then? Because I was thinking I might have to go for Android or whatever. You know, I do like the Kindle. I have to say, Kindle Fire. I take it with me to other places. But if there is one that's better, which would you recommend then?
This is for you guys. Does what tablets? I know I'm a Samsung user, but I don't want to start a fight.
It would depend very much on which environment you're most comfortable. I think the other equipment you mentioned, Pauline, was Windows based. So there's Windows based tablet, and that would be a familiar environment for you to work in. So if you wanted to sort of downscale to a tablet, you can still do that and use Windows and whatever access technology you use within that. But I'm not recommending. I don't use tablets. I jump from laptop to phone, and I don't do stop in the middle. So yeah, just my thought on that one.
They do come in a various sizes. So you've got the iPads, which are a fantastic piece of kit if you are an iPhone user. Again, they do come with the price tag, but they do come in up to sort of a 12-inch screen size, and the same with the Samsung Tab tablets as well. But I think when it comes to trying out new tech, there's nothing better than actually sort of going to your local Currys or electrical store, where they might have these on display, where you can actually get some proper hands-on. And that's the first thing I did when I bought my tablet, straight to the accessibility mode. How quickly can I flip the screen backwards and forwards? You know, what are the shortcuts? And that is, I think that is the best way for you to try and find a device, and that's any device that best suits your needs, and what you use it for, because you can get your books through Amazon, through their app. You don't need necessarily a Kindle Fire to view their products. You can actually do that on another device, which may be more accessibility friendly for you.
Can I just ask about because one thing about the Kindle Fire, I think because I've been trying to find out this recently, is like I'd like to have Kindle books, have the Kindle read the books out to me, and they seem to have made it very hard to, at least on an Android device, to get it to read. If you buy a new Kindle book, it doesn't seem to be very easy just to get it to read out. But apparently on a Kindle Fire, they made it easier maybe to sell Kindle Fires. But I don't know whether anyone else uses Kindle books and has a good, convenient way of getting them kind of computer read out to you.
It is very good on iOS. You open your book, you swipe 2 fingers down, and your screen reader just reads the book. It's easy as that. 2 fingers.
Fantastic system that is. The swipe down. I've set mine up, Gordon, to just to double tap the back of the phone. So double tap starts reading out.
Yeah, it really is very good. I mean, it's a bit robotic because you've got the screen reader voice reading, not a human narrator. But sometimes, if a book's not available in audio format, that's what I do. I'll get the book and I'll just get my phone to read it to me. And on iOS, I'm surprised it's not as good on Android, to be honest, because it's really very easy on iOS.
I think
it's a Kindle app. It's not an iOS app.
I think they've changed it to sort of integrate it with what's the Android TalkBack, I think, and it seems to keep stopping after a page or so, and it just seems very fiddly to use somehow.
Yeah,
but I can also
you can do it on iOS as well. You can read a page, and then you physically have to swipe to the next page.
Hi guys, sorry, time. I do apologise, but time is ticking. We've still got a few people that are with their hands up. I do apologise. We've got Rama with her hand up. Sorry, Rama, do you have a question?
I wanted to know these VWalk and other navigation apps. You have to pay for them, or they are free?
The WeWalk one, I've just done a sort of free 2-week trial, but then I think it goes to about £10 a month or so. So you might want to try that. I think is Blind Square about £60, £70 or something to buy.
I bought it a long time ago. There is a fee to buy it, but then after that it's free. I mean, once you bought it, you bought it. It doesn't require a subscription.
Oh, thanks.
I can put those. Any navigation.
I can't remember, Ken. I'm sorry, I can't remember.
Thanks, Gordon.
We can.
So with regards to navigation, there's also Good Maps Outdoors. That's free. I've tried it a couple of times, but I haven't used it extensively. But Good Maps Outdoors is another one that's free.
That's good. Thanks very much. We've got Pamela next with a question. Hi, Pamela.
Hi there. Now, it was just about the bone connectivity earphones. I got a pair of them last year and they are very good. Even I've just started using my white cane, and even for when my mobile goes, because I can't answer the phone and walk with the cane at the same time. So they are very good, and it still does give you your hearing round about you, which was something that I was worried about with ordinary earphones, but they are excellent. They are really, really good and worth a try.
What were those earphones?
The bone connectivity ones. They're excellent. Yeah, they're really, really good.
Cool. No, we'll I'll add them into the follow-up email as well. So any tips and hints or recommendations that I've missed in an email, like I said, this is going to be recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel, so you will be able to go back and sort of fast through to the bits that you might find useful and you might want to try out for yourself. So we've got 5 minutes to go, and we've got Carl briefly, and then after that. Hi, Carl.
Yeah, hi guys. Just literally, funny enough, just linking into that last comment there about sort of bone conductions. I've had experience with those. They are really good, and again, keeps you obviously your ears all clear when you're out and about. Yeah, they're good. The other thing I was going to say on a similar sort of nature, and I've mentioned it in previous, and Mark will chuckle, I personally use the Bose Tempo frames. So basically, there's different ones you can get at different companies now. Another good one is Anker Soundcore frames. And basically, they're just like a sunglass type looking device, very lightweight, really, really easy to use, Bluetooth. And again, both of them, obviously, your ear channels are totally open. Really, really good devices. I'm really happy with the Tempo. It's been using them a couple of years now. So just another option if you don't get on well with bone conduction, because it is a bit of a weird sensation. Some people really like it, but it can be a bit odd because it kind of can vibrate a little bit. So yeah, just to consider the have a look at the audio sunglasses. There are cheaper options around, but yeah, can be a really good option. And just to say thanks a lot, Mark and the guys, for the arranging the meetings. Really educational, fantastic. Looking forward to the next one. Cheers, guys.
No worries. Thank you very much. Right. One last question from Perm, and then I'll just wrap up with a few things from Retina UK. Hi, Perm.
Hi, Mark. Sorry, I did lower my hand.
No, that's fine.
You know, we're talking about all of these kind of gadgets and things. A lot of it is jargon for some of us who aren't aware. But the one thing I wanted to say is that with the different iPhones, the actual pin has changed. Where it used to be like a pointing pin for your chargers, you've got the flat end now. I think it would be good on recommendation to actually put that in your, you know, kind of email as, you know, kind of backup, because each and every one has a different charging pin. You've got to make sure that you've got the correct headphones to go with your correct, basically the leads as well, your charging leads. And it's always best, you know, it's great having all these recommendations, but I think sometimes if you lose your charge and you've got the wrong headphone pin, then you're thinking, hang on, which ones do I need? It'd be good to actually kind of narrow the ones down for iPhone 12 upwards or 11, which pins would be suitable, and Beats headphones, because the actual charging end is slightly different.
Yeah. Also Bluetooth headphones, although they do drain the battery a little bit, they are also just as good, and it obviously keeps you wire free as well, you know, so check out some wireless. Again, it's personal recommendation. It's again, YouTube is a good source of reference for up to date and you know the best headphones out there. So, but I can do some recommendations for the ones that we've had before.
There are adapters if you so the Lightning connector that Apple products use. You can get an adapter that will convert a conventional 3.5mm headphone jack into a Lightning adapter. Just a sort of 2-inch long thing. It's you don't need to be. Hopefully, you wouldn't be stuck entirely. You had one of those.
No. I was just thinking, but it'd be good to recommend that because not everybody would be aware. I mean, I only found out by default because you know, the person that supports me in my role, they said, "Oh, you need one of these and you need one of those," and I thought, well, I wasn't even aware. But then it was actually brought to my attention that, you know, from iPhone 11 upwards, the actual pin has changed from a pin to a flat end.
The Lightning charger now, isn't it?
Yeah. You know what I mean, Mark. You know what I'm trying to say.
I'm new to iPhone, so yeah, I've got the newer iPhone with the newer flathead as well. So yeah, it's when they do change. It's the same with Android when they went from micro USB to micro USB Type C.
Yeah.
You know,
The Apple Power has always been Lightning, but they had the headphone socket on the earlier phones. They took that away, and you now have to plug your headphones in through the Lightning socket as well, which is exactly the same as the power socket. Well, it is the power socket.
They're going to USB-C with the iPhone 15.
I think that's legislation, EU legislation is
EU
requiring
legislation.
Everything to provide USB-C as a standard.
So that's yet another adapter you need.
Absolutely. I mean, there will be so much legacy.
Well, it's just cost, isn't it? I mean, it's the way of making money as well. So sorry, but
the adapters are only a couple of quid.
No worries. It's a valid point. We've got one.
Mark, can I just ask a question?
Had her hand up physically. Hi,
Thank
Claire.
you. Thank you, everyone.
Question? No worries. Did you still have a question, Claire?
Mark, can you hear me?
Sorry, it's Claire in Glasgow.
Hi, Claire. How are you?
Hi there. No, just when people were talking about reading and the need to keep involving your libraries or whatever, is that the Libby app is brilliant, and you can make the text as large as you want for your iPad, or I can still read on my phone. I can make it pretty large. So, and obviously all books are free. It connects with your library card, and you can also borrow audio books. So it's worth investigating if your local library provides that, because it's, instead of the way they all used to keep large print books, this is the way forward. And it's not for Kindles, but it is for other screens. But by all means, go in and ask, because I love it. It's a brilliant and really easy to use app.
Yeah, and you've also got Calibre Audio as well, which is designed for the visually impaired as well. If you register with them and you let them know that you're visually impaired, I think that is free. I think you do get a few amount of yes, have we got? I think that is. Do we have? Oh,
Mark, can I just have a quick one?
Go on in, just before we go, because I've just got to wrap up from Words from Retina UK, but sure.
To the lady that likes reading books on Kindles, Caroline, make a note of this as well. The British Wireless for the Blind Fund. Now, if you're a resident of the UK, registered as registrable blind or partially sighted, over the age of 8, don't know why, you can actually get a free radio loaned out to you, which will possibly have a USB socket on it. And then once you've got that, you can go over to the RNIB, and they have a library, which basically is audiobooks on a library format. So basically, you phone up and say, I want X book by X author. They'll say, yeah, we've got it. They'll then send it out for free. You can listen to it. Once you listen to it, send it back to them for free. That's another way of enjoying books through another way of means, instead of having to faff about with apps, etc. On the app side, just another quick one. BorrowBox is another one where it gets all the audio books, but please check with your local library, local council, to see if they've actually signed up. That's it.
That's brilliant, Paul. Thanks very much. Been a lot of talk about books, which is good. One last comment from John. John, do you still have a?
Yeah, no problem. Could you hear me all right, Mark?
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, just to say, you and I had this conversation very quickly at the end here. All we need now is an app, so we know there's an electric car coming. Remember?
They will be the vein, or a big siren on the top to say that they are coming, because they are getting quieter. But don't get started on electric cars, because we'll be here till midnight.
I did send a message to the local MP just very quickly, and I got the standard thing back that she got from the government saying that as of, I think it was 2014, all cars now, electric cars, have to have an audible sound less than 12 miles an hour. But
it was 2019, and it's only new models released after that date. Anything prior to that doesn't have to be retrofitted.
They are able to turn it off in certain circumstances. So what's the point? Who's going to have it on?
Who's just shared this?
No. Oh, are we still there? Someone.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Someone shared their screen there. I wasn't sure what happened there.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks very much, everyone. That was great.
No,
Mark, sorry, Barry from Focus. I know earlier people were looking for maybe some tech support. I don't know if people are aware about how to get some tech support. Whether people, I know the RNIB have the Tech for Life. A good source is AbilityNet, and in Scotland, I think there's an organisation now called a charity called Triple Tap, and they all have volunteers that can visit people in the homes if they need help with technology in the home. So I don't know if anybody knows any more, but they're the three I know about. So
No, that's absolutely smashing. Thanks everyone for joining. Just before we go and wrap up, I know your evenings are dwindling away. Just a couple of words from Retina UK. First of all, thank you so much for everyone for joining us and sharing your thoughts, your feedback, and your tips and your hints and your recommendations. It's been absolutely fantastic to have so many come on board and share your experiences. It's been absolutely amazing. So I really do appreciate you coming out for this pilot peer group that we're trialing at Retina UK. Just a couple of things. We do have a new group starting in the West Yorkshire area, which will be based in Halifax, and our first meeting is going to be on the 4th of April at 7 p.m. and that's going to be held online, and that's going to be the launch meeting. And we will have a speaker from the Halifax Society for the Blind talking about their services. So if there's anybody that will be interested in the West Yorkshire group, then please check our website, www.retinauk.org.uk, underneath our local groups page for more information will be available shortly. We do have a low vision webinar next Thursday, the 23rd, which will start at 7 p.m. as well. So if you're looking for low vision aids, glasses, etc., come and listen in. That will be hosted by my colleague Matthew Carr. And also, if you haven't signed up for our and general conference and general meeting in June, so the professionals is on the 23rd. And our annual conference and AGM is on the 20th, which is going to be in the capital city of London at the University of Westminster, which is the Marylebone campus of and that will be running from, I think it's 10 in the morning on both days. So again, more information is available on our website if you would like to join in person, come and meet the team. Or if you cannot make it due to location, then you can join us online for that via a similar method as the evening. So again, from me, if you do want any more information regarding local peer groups, you know, or you like what you've seen this evening and you would like to help facilitate future meetings such as this one, or you'd like to set one up in your own area, then please get in contact with me. You've got my details from the email that I sent out this morning, and also from the follow-up one that will come out in a few days' time with the recording to our YouTube video available on our YouTube channel. So, again, everyone, I really do appreciate your support this evening, and again, your feedback is very, very much important to us. Whether you liked it, whether you didn't, whether there was anything that I could improve on, this is the only way that we can bring you focus-based peer groups, you know, and unite our community that are living with sight loss. Once again, have a lovely evening, everybody, and I look forward to chatting with you at the next one.
Thanks very much, Mark.
Thank
All
you very much.
the best.
Thanks.
Thank
Take care, everyone. Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thanks, Mark.
You're more than welcome. Thank you,
Hope
everybody.
you can send all the information on email.
We will do, yes, including the link to the YouTube video once it's uploaded to our channel. So, yes, that'll all come over in the next couple of days' time. So keep an eye on your emails. But thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome.
Bye.
Good evening, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Come and join us and meet the Retina UK team at our 2023 Professionals and Annual Conference held this year in London at the University of Westminster, Marylebone campus opposite Madame Tussauds on Friday the 23rd and Saturday the 24th of June. More information and how to register is available on our events page on our website. Thanks very much for your support. We look forward to seeing you there. We hope you have enjoyed this recording. If you have any questions, queries, or wish to leave any feedback, then please leave it in the comment section below. Alternatively, you can send your inquiries to info@retinauk.org.uk. Contact us via the telephone on 01280 821 334 or call our helpline on 0300 111 4000, which is open Monday to Friday 9:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. If you would like to know more about our local peer groups, when your next meeting will be held, or if you wish to get involved in creating your own group, or would like to know more about our services that Retina UK provides, then please visit our information and support page on our website www.retinauk.org.uk and navigate to our local peer group page. Thanks again for listening. We hope to see you again soon. Take care and bye for now.